I want you to take a careful look at this Babylonian ballhead. Take a careful look at what he's doing, facilitating, escorting a gentleman who asked a question in a town hall in Toronto. But if you know the history of that man and the amount of taunting and in some respects trying to terrorize Dr. Keith Mitchell when he had his town halls, if you only knew. And this is your Consul General in Toronto, another stifler of First Amendment rights. That's your Consul General. Take a look at this man, okay? I'm old enough to know when this guy used to come into Keith Mitchell's town hall meetings and harass and disrupt and harass Keith Mitchell and try to disrupt the meetings, okay? And talking about briefcase. But take a look at him now. Take a look at him now acting like a big hypocrite, okay? And a chucking out man out of town hall meetings now. Look at him. That's why I tell you, these people are hypocrites. That regime is a regime of hypocrites. That's why you see who come together to comprise that regime? You see who come together to comprise that regime? The most socialist Marxists, okay? A set of charlatans and a bunch of imposters. Perfect bedfellows. Yeah, now look at him. Chucking out man out of meeting. Okay? But that's the same guy that used to come to Keith Mitchell's town hall meeting and talk about briefcase, disrespect Keith Mitchell. Okay? And banter and make noise in those town hall meetings and disrupt those town hall meetings. But now, he pretended and facilitating, chucking out some man out of town hall meeting. Look at him now. You think we don't remember? You think we don't remember? I'm old enough to remember that. You see who these people admire? You see what they admire, who they want to get in bed with? That just tells you the type of people they are. If these people had their way, okay, they would brutalize. If they had their way, these people would resort to brutalizing Grenadian people. If they had their way.
In a well-mannered way, you may ask a question.
And you guys heard that? You heard that? Did you listen to how Mr. Hopkins, who's supposed to be a Consul General and supposed to have some sort of tact and diplomacy, did you hear how he spoke down to that gentleman who was about to ask a question? Talking to the gentleman like he's some sort of gangster or wise guy and telling the gentleman, you can ask your question in a well-mannered way. You can ask your question in a well-mannered way. Like he talking to a little boy or something like that. Like the man, a grown man, don't know how to be polite or cordial in asking a question. So you may ask your question in a well-mannered way. The question is, Mr. Hopkins, did you used to ask your questions to Dr. Keith Mitchell in a well-mannered way? Did you? No. Coming now and yakking like a gangster. But you can ask your question, but in a well-mannered way. And then you see the audience descended on this man like a pack of hyenas. Ask your question, and badgers this man while this man is trying to ask a question. Now, how do you think that makes me feel? People like me who've had certain experiences in the early 80s, how do you think that makes us feel? When people rolled up on our joint on Bain Alley, surrounded the place, and arrested my auntie that fateful night of October 19th. How do you think that makes us feel? Do you believe that we think that we can trust this current regime? When you have people acting so reckless? Yeah, and these are people that are in their employ. You think we can trust them? Does it look like these people are people who could use power responsibly? And you know what's interesting? The same set of Bajans that roll up on a joint on Bain Alley that fateful night on October 19, are the same set that ran and hide on October 25th. And left carnage youth men to stand up and face one of the most sophisticated armies of the time on the battlefield. So when we respond and when we act a certain way, it's because we know better. And the gentleman was forced to leave that town hall. These are the people that hold the reins of power in our society. Then you have to ask yourself a question. Are these the people you believe can hold the reins of power and act responsibly while they're doing it? That is the question you have to ask yourselves.